Hi and welcome to this Splash Immunology video on vaccines. A vaccine is a preparation that stimulates an immune response against an organism that causes disease, and this gives us lifelong immunity against the disease. We call any disease-causing organism a pathogen. Vaccines contain components of the disease-causing pathogen. When a vaccine is administered into a person, the components of the pathogen enter into the muscle. Here, in the muscle, it is detected by the body's immune system. Even though the vaccine is harmless, the body reacts in the same way to the vaccine as it would to a live disease-causing organism. It produces a full immune response using cells and antibodies to destroy the pathogen. In doing so, your body's been trained in how to deal with this pathogen, and a memory is made of how to destroy it in future infections. This means that if the live disease-causing virus was to infect you in the future, your immune system would quickly destroy it before it's able to cause disease. So what is actually in a vaccine? For a vaccine to produce protection against a pathogen, it has to contain an active ingredient. This is the part of the vaccine that contains the pathogens that directly stimulate the immune system but cannot cause disease. The vaccine also contains adjuvants, and these are substances which help to strengthen and lengthen the immune response to the vaccine. Vaccines also contain antibiotics and preservatives, and these serve to prevent contamination during manufacture and storage. A vaccine also contains stabilizers, such as sugar and gelatin, and these keep the vaccine effective until it's administered to the patient. And lastly, a vaccine will also contain some trace ingredients that do not pose a safety concern. So now let's have a closer look at what the active ingredients of the vaccines are. The active ingredient in a vaccine is the pathogenic material from the disease-causing organism that we want to vaccinate against. This is so that the cells of the immune system can learn to recognize the pathogen and produce antibodies and immune memory against it. However, the pathogenic material has to be carefully considered. You can't just put a live pathogen straight into a vaccine because this will infect the person that's receiving it and cause disease. But equally, there has to be enough of the pathogenic material to cause a strong enough immune response so that the body can produce immunity to the pathogen. So there are different ways of making the pathogenic material safe and putting it into a vaccine, and the vaccines are classified based on the type of pathogenic material that they contain. The oldest type of vaccine is a live attenuated vaccine. These contain live viruses that have been weakened to significantly reduce their ability to infect a person. This means that they can't cause disease and are very safe to give to people. These vaccines are very effective at producing an immune response because they simulate a real-life infection. It's also possible to use pathogens that have been inactivated, which essentially means that they've been killed and have no ability to reproduce or cause disease. This means that they can safely be given to a person with an impaired immune response, such as the elderly and vulnerable. Instead of using the whole pathogen, it's possible to use just parts of the pathogen. Recombinant vaccines contain just the proteins from the surface of the pathogen. So these are very safe because they do not contain any infectious agents, but consequently can mean that they don't produce such a strong and long-lasting immune response and require multiple doses to get full protection against the disease. These three vaccine types, the live, the inactivated, and the recombinant protein vaccines, are the classic vaccine types. Recently, newer vaccine types have been developed, such as the viral vector vaccine and the DNA and mRNA vaccines, which you can hear more about in the next video. Thanks for listening to Splash Immunology video on vaccines. See you next time.